Hi everyone, this is Bruno from House of Falcone. We are here today with Peter. Now, thanks to my work and thanks to my job, like I get to meet with a lot of very successful entrepreneurs and very successful people all around Australia and in some cases around the world. Now, thank you for being here with us today, Peter.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Now, can you tell everyone out there, obviously, like we got to meet each other in an awesome event in Sydney, was it right?
Yeah.
You know, like we were both there because obviously both of us are striving to be better, trying to like for greatness. Can you tell everyone out there a little bit about yourself? Like, you know, what made you want to go to that event on that day?
Yeah, sure. Basically, it was a good opportunity to meet some people that you don't normally get a chance to meet, like the guys from Housewares in Dubai. Obviously, Vince Warren was the main guy, and then the head of Reebok and Blockbuster. So some really good, interesting characters that you know, if you get an opportunity to come up close and personal with them, you definitely don't give that up.
No,
That was the real reason for me to be honest with you.
I thought it was very interesting to see, you know, Sergio, and like talking about like how they decided to go into the world of reality TV show after being actually very successful in business.
Correct.
I don't know if you caught that out, but everybody out there like always think that you know, you jump into TV or jump into the world of fame. It's more of a that is first and then business comes next.
Correct.
But they did the opposite, the other way around.
I mean, if you look at their brand, the Housewives brand, it's all about the luxury, the champagne lifestyle.
Yeah.
So they're not going to have average punters on there. You got to be a person of substance. You got to have, you know, a business. You got to have a career. You got to have something that you've made it in to make it interesting for the viewers. It is TV, so you got to get bums on seats. And,
Now, but in your specific case, like, can you actually draw a parallel from, you know, like Sergio and Caroline, that they decided to go into the public eye after they made it within their own business and their own like entrepreneurial journey? Can you see yourself doing the same? So like, you know, this is your very successful business, and now you are running
Correct.
for pretty political
Correct.
status.
Yes.
Can you tell a little bit about that?
Yeah, so decided to run for mayor of Liverpool, which is a popularly elected position. Not every council in Sydney has that. Most councils, the councillors determine who the mayor is, which technically not really a mayor, determined by the people, right? So in Liverpool, it's the whole voting public in that area that determines who the mayor is. So, and it is expensive running an election campaign, to be honest with you, and you have to be financially independent to be able to do that, because, you know, I find it difficult doing fundraisers and asking people for money. I just find it easier to self-fund my campaign.
Yeah.
And back myself, and whatever happens, you know. There's no guarantees, but I'm in it because I enjoy it, and I'm passionate about public office as well. So it's like a hobby of mine. It's not a full-time gig, but it's a hobby.
Yeah. So what made you want to do it in the first place? Because obviously, you said it yourself. Like it's not easy, and you know, not everybody gets to run for specifically for Liverpool. So what made you get into? What part of your journey pushed you to be in this specific
It's hard to say. I mean, I've
arena?
always enjoyed politics from a young age. You know, even when I started off in my uni days as young Labor, I've just always loved politics. I've loved the chess game of it, the strategy involved. Yeah, Australian politics are boring because, in all honesty, we have a lot of boring politicians that just can't answer a question straight. And then you look at the Americans like Trump, who just is an entertainer. He answers a question, he speaks in normal language, not afraid to say what he thinks, and that's what people want. And I think that's the same thing in Australia. They want someone that's willing to back the silent majority, which unfortunately have been put to the shelf.
Yeah. Yeah. And so everybody out there like resonate a little bit with you, right? Can you tell a little bit about your own journey? Because obviously whenever somebody gets to run for a public office, like you see the end of the journey, right? Like you see somebody like you're self-funding, you have a successful business, you get in there. But obviously there's so many out there that they see that as some almost unachievable. So can you tell a little bit about that journey for you, how you started? And
I mean, look, I was deputy mayor, I have to admit, from 2012 to 2016, when I was with the Liberal Party. It's easy to be with the political party. You can hide behind the brand. But this time around, I don't have the major political brand behind me. It's just me. I'm the brand. So a lazy individual could not do what I'm doing. Like the current mayor, I consider him a lazy individual. He has to run under the Liberal brand. It's a lot of hard work because I'm up at 5 a.m. doing letterboxing, door knocking. My legs are killing me. 1,000 steps. I've got my mum and dad helping me.
Wow.
My wife, the whole family, friends, family. And you're doing it all on your own. But that's the way I like it. Unfortunately, political parties, you're just a number, and a lot of them have to do as they're told.
Yeah.
It's like a pyramid scheme. If you're down the bottom, someone above you tells you this is what you do. If you don't like it, you're out. And I've never been one to play in that game.
Yeah.
I have zero respect for major political parties that manipulate the Australian population. If you have a look at the two major parties, their votes have gone down. We're talking 20, 30 years ago when they were getting 50% each of the vote.
Yeah.
Now they're down to a third each.
Yeah.
So there's a third that says, you know what, bugger you guys, I don't like you. And their votes are coming more and more down.
Yeah. Now, this election is coming up. When is it coming up?
September 14th, everyone in New South Wales votes for the local government. So Liverpool's no different.
Yeah.
Except I'm out there climbing Mount Everest. Doing it early, starting early, making noise early, because it's not an easy task, but you've got to be in it to win it, as they say.
Of course. Now, if anyone out there wants to find you on social media or maybe a website, or they want to connect with you to ask you a question, how can they do that?
And my website's ristevski2024.com.au.
Could you spell that?
Yes. Ristevski, Ristevski2024.com.au.
Perfect. And then maybe on your Instagram is somebody of the younger generation.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram under Peter Risto. So Peter, then Risto, Risto. I'm on Instagram as well. So
Great.
you can connect whichever way they like.
Follow and DM.
Correct.
Yeah, follow and DM.
100%. I always return DMs.
Now, can I ask you a little bit more about your journey as a man of style, right? So a little bit about yourself now, understanding, what made you want to come up to me on that day and say hi, right? So like in Sydney, like obviously, I had major like support on stage and off stage, but at the same time, you knew inside of you that you wanted to achieve something different that you have done so far.
Yes.
So can you tell a little bit more about
so when JT mentioned that you actually tailor his suits, and I'm a man of fashion, I've got an eye for fashion. When I saw his suits, I thought, that's a gun suit. I've got to meet the guy behind it. And then he pointed you out. I just knew at the first break, I'll come and say g'day. Because I needed some suits. I've lost some weight. I'm on this program, and I just thought, perfect timing. Everything lined up, So that was my reason for reaching out.
That's good. And obviously, I mean, like the fact that you're already a man of fashion, it tells me a lot, because obviously you must have gone already through, without knowing or not knowing, you would have gone through a personal journey where you know that by presenting yourself to a room that don't know you, so like first timers, presenting yourself in a certain way will get a certain reaction, will get a certain person to wanting to come up to you and talk to you. Did you notice yourself, like whenever you go to events, networking events or balls, galas, that whenever you feel at your peak, you get better results in the room?
Look, you've got to put yourself in an uncomfortable position. Noah really enjoys going up to people that they don't really know and saying, "G'day." The more you do it, the more you get better at it. So 20 years ago, I was probably didn't have the confidence, or 20, 30 years, I didn't have the confidence to do that. But with time, it's like going to the gym. The more you go to the gym, the bigger muscles you get, the more you introduce yourself to people you don't know, the better you get at it. So don't be afraid to put yourself in an uncomfortable position, because the next time will get slightly easier and then slightly and then slightly.
Yeah, that is great. I mean, like for most of the entrepreneurs they'll listen to this, like that is really nice to hear, like for somebody like you, your level of success that you still had to go through a specific journey where you understood that by like a muscle, by training, you get better. Now, and obviously also the presenting yourself in a certain way, I can see that a lot of men out there, they don't put a lot of attention in it. But then a key thing was said at that event where JT said, the way you do something is how you do everything else, right? So that's how, I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he says, right? Yeah. So in a way, within the business world, like if you don't present yourself well, I have a feeling that a lot of entrepreneurs, they leave money on the table. Because if they don't present themselves well, why would people want to do business with them? Or do you think...
Right. Like JT Fox always says in Australia, tall poppy syndrome. You have to enter that question with an asterisk in Australia, unfortunately. In America, yes, 100% what you just said is correct. However, in Australia, if you present yourself too flashy, you can send the wrong image to people. He's too expensive, or he's not focused. Unfortunately, it's the culture we have, and I don't know how we're going to change that. But ultimately, being in the business world and going to a lot of functions, you've got to wear a suit. So, as you can see, I don't wear a tie here at my office. But when we go to specific functions, we wear ties. We've got to dress up a lot more formal, because that's what's required. And if you've got to do that, you might as well take pride in what you've got on.
Yeah. And I do really like the idea of not having to have the perfect wardrobe, but sometimes, and this is an Italian culture, and this is where I come from. As an Italian, when I go to events or when I look after myself, there's always a certain level of attention on what I do that makes me feel more confident when I go out there. So it doesn't have to be, to me, like a full 3-piece suit, for example. Yeah. Doesn't have to be too flashy, but then whatever I do, I try to make it so you give the right message. So I cannot tailor my looks based on the event or based on where am I going to. So then whenever I do that, like I said, like even today I'm wearing, like a jacket with a white trouser. So I knew that I didn't want to wear like a full 3-piece suit because there was no need, right? Correct. No tie for me. Yes. I never wear. Yes. You rarely catch me with a tie. I think that day I was wearing JT's ties because he gave it to me. Yes. As a good luck. Now, can you tell, like, all of the entrepreneurs out there, and I guess all of the people out there, of something about creating relationships in events such as that, right? Like something about understanding the value of connecting with people, like, and a tip on how to do it.
Look, a lot of these networking functions, it's hard because everyone's out there doing the same thing. So how do you differentiate yourself from the next gentleman or the next female next to you who's doing the same thing? Everyone's got their masks on and whatnot. I find organic networking probably a lot better. For example, Level 6, which is a private, private nightclub at Ivy, only open to members. Like I've networked and picked up a lot of clients there simply by sitting down over a whiskey and a cigar and just having a chat. How's your day? What's going on? Oh, terrible day, I've got this tax issue I can't get out of. And bang, straight away the door opens and I just say what I need to say. And they love it. Mate, you've got to give me a car. That's exactly what I need. Bang, a client picked up. And it was all organic. It wasn't an organised networking function. Just two guys talking over a whiskey and a cigar. It can be done over golf, but I just find that people are more focused on their game. While over a whiskey and a cigar, you let your hair down, you let your guard down, you're just yourself, and you just say it the way it is.
You know, you'll be surprised. Like I've done, lots of networking. I've done lots of, golf or golf day or whatever it is. You'll be surprised. There's a lot of entrepreneurs out there that find it very difficult. Whatever you just said, that to me is like, of course. You just sit down and have some fun. Sit down, be yourself. Yes. Sit down and kind of like let the other person see you for who you are. Correct. I think one of the things that worked for me specifically, and then, you got to be strong in your own domain to do it. But like one of the things I do, I make myself vulnerable. So whenever I speak to somebody, like even today, you saw it, like I am who I am, and I try to be as vulnerable as possible to kind of help the other person drop their own wall down a little bit. I found that has worked in the past for me.
Definitely. Networking functions are not easy. I don't know if people enjoy them, to be honest with you. I'm not really a big fan of them. But you go there, but I go there with no expectations. And, if you can learn one thing.
Yeah.
And if that's a simple thing that you learn, then that's enough. You don't always have to go there and pick up 10 clients or whatnot.
Yeah.
It's a long game.
Yeah.
You might meet someone, exchange cards, but initially nothing happens. You might meet them in another function and you develop rapport and whatnot. A lot of people just want instantaneous.
What do you think of this? Is one of my mentors. I'm still getting mentored by this guy. He told me that when you go out for a networking event, you focus on creating one good relationship over 10 introductions.
That's true, yeah.
So he was like, he said, if you can manage to stick around with the same guy for most of the night and create a real relationship, because it's not about the kind of business that you can out of the one guy, it's more like who we can introduce you to after that interaction. How do you feel about that one?
Look, I agree. A lot of these networking functions, people just look at you like a dollar, If it was a dollar, they have no personality.
They do.
But like you said, I'm like you too. If I look around, if I see that one guy at the bar over there, he sounds like an interesting bloke, I want to go over there. And then you sit down and you talk to him.
Yeah.
So you're right. It's more important to develop that relationship with one person than to go around speed dating everyone on that night.
Yes. Oh my God, of course. But I've learned it on my own skin. It took me a while before.
Right?
That's right. It really took me a while before.
Make mistakes to learn. And there's that like public speaking. You make mistakes, you get better at it.
Yeah.
People hate doing it. It's uncomfortable. But the more you put yourself out there, the more uncomfortable you are. Eventually you become comfortable. Like flying.
Yes. Yeah.
Hate the first time you go and hate it, keep doing it, become immune to turbulence or whatnot.
And it's strategies that are good for the Australian market. Because there's a few of these for the American market that I read. Yeah. But as I'm reading now, I always, that's right.
Yeah, look, tax law is specific to a country. Unless you're reading the Australian version, it's redundant. Principally, it's probably correct, but legally it's not.
That's right.
So you've got to base it on Australian tax law.
Yeah.
And our system is very complex.
Oh, I'll be so excited to read that one.
Complex. The Tax Act is, literally this big. It started off this big and now it's bigger and bigger. Yeah, we'll be outlining some stuff about that, some good stuff. I'll be doing some book tours in the future. I've got to get through the election first, and after that I'll clean myself up. So yeah, it's going to be quite exciting adventures coming up.
I'm so excited. I'm actually, you guys don't know, but I got all of this today. Like I feel like it's so exciting for you, and I feel like very blessed for you to have even thought of me to probably dress you up for all of these.
When I see something I like, you just, you know, the suit, the JT hat on, garden suit. You know, okay. I want one of those.
And what did I say straight away? I was like, I'm going to fly to you.
Yeah.
I was like,
down.
I'm in Brisbane. I'm going to come in to Sydney just for you.
Correct. You flew
And I
down
did.
and came to beautiful Bankstown. It gets a lot of bad rep, Bankstown. It's actually a good area. Yeah, I appreciate you, dude.
No, it's been awesome. Again, if somebody wants to reach out to you, your Instagram account is
Peter Risto, so Risto.
perfect.
On Insta.
And if somebody wants to find you on the website,
Ristevski2024.com.au.
and vote.
One Mike Ristevski.
Yeah. No, you're too good, man. No, you've been so good. Thank you.